UMCAT, short for Uganda Media Consultants and Trainers, was founded by Charles Ogwal in 1996 in a bid to increase on the country's media practicing professionals, very few of whom were being trained by Makerere University and Uganda Media Institute.
Makerere University, by the time we joined, was admitting 20 students directly, for journalism, mass comm. And out of the 20, only 16 were coming directly from A-level, which I was. But the applications were many.
Since 1996, Ogwal has been offering media training services to young people interested in pursuing a career in journalism, among whom are current and former staffers of NTV.
I remember the time he came right to my office. He had a strong desire to be a journalist, but his mother did not want it.
It is of no surprise then that from UMCAT alumni rose a group of young people who established the current Media Challenge initiative, another driving force of journalism training in Uganda today.
So our key focus is mainly to target on the mind, the body and the soul. We don't necessarily focus on the intellectual aspect only, but we are also looking at getting an holistic person that will work in the media.
At School of Journalism, and that is none other than Bishop.
But in the changing media landscape, we seek to find out whether institutions like UMCAT and other media and journalism training institutions are living up to the task of delivering a skilled journalist who can deliver news professionally, but also respond to the changing times and trends within the media industry.
So we strongly believe in one man army journalist. So we are training you to have the skills. You can hand a camera, you can write a story, you can take photos, you can write for online. You're able to do all these things.
You are accountable for whatever comes out of the story you write. If you write a story that brings problems to the organization, you're accountable for it. If you write a story that brings problems to yourself, you're accountable for it.
Of these critical changes is the emergence of technology, which has given rise to digital outlets and social media platforms.
We directly now encourage them to have gadgets that can enable them to access social media at any time. For example, we encourage them to have their personal, workable mobile phones, smartphones that can work on internet all times.
The proliferation of social media platforms has also given a rise to citizen journalism, which has in turn also taken away the power of traditional media to break the news. In this change of roles, the media then takes on another role.
Is to give it an in-depth analysis, to give it the perspective. The perspective, of course, goes beyond now what has happened, where has it happened, when did this happen, to how it has happened and why it has happened.
But whereas a lot of effort is going into training journalists, challenges still abound for the sector, especially the rise of citizen journalism, which is threatening to overshadow professional journalism. This is in addition to training institutions that do not meet the required standards of offering this service.
And it now calls for a little bit of legislation probably, to see how at each sector has a legislation that strongly regulates who can enter into the training docket of it.
The practice of good journalism depends on the quality of journalists joining the ranks of what is considered to be an esteemed profession. Joyce Nakato, NTV.